The fog had just begun to thicken outside. When Margaret set the table for 6, the other women would arrive soon, just as they did the first Friday of every month, their laughter already echoing in Margaret's imagination. The wine glasses glimmered, and Margaret's hands trembled as she arranged the napkins. She tried to shake off the persistent sensation that someone was watching her from the kitchen door's shadow. By 7, the book club gathered, their voices overlapping in bursts of excitement and whispered confidences. Margaret poured glasses of Cabernet, her smile flawless, unfaltering. Underneath, she listened for footsteps she knew did not exist. The thought of the stalker grew like a tight knot in her chest. The first scream came from Denise, a spill of red staining her blouse as she slumped over her copy of Rebecca. Carol's eyes widened in disbelief, stuttering the beginnings of Margaret's name before her own glass shattered on the floor, cut off by a pair of sharp hands. Margaret's hands, unfamiliar, and yet her very own. What followed happened quickly, the room spinning, wine pouring black and glossy across the hardwood, bodies falling one by one to the hush of Margaret's purposeful violence. After, the silence felt deeper than any she'd ever known. Margaret sat at the head of the blood-splattered table, glass shards and wet pages sticking to her skirt. Outside, the fog pressed tight against the windows, muting the yellow glow of the street lights. They wouldn't understand, she thought, not the neighbors, not the police. The story needed to be easier to believe, so Margaret pressed the knife into her own palm, careful enough to draw bright lines that could be photographed and catalogued. She pulled her own hair until small tufts came loose, smeared herself with the wine-dark stains on her sweater, and collapsed near the open front door while dialing 911, her voice trembling. Just so. He was here, she wept when the officers arrived, cold rain tapping against her bare feet on the porch. Tall, hooded, faceless. He had watched them for weeks, left notes beneath the wipers of her van, appeared in the dark glass behind her whenever she brushed her teeth. She recited each lie she'd rehearsed while listening to the final struggles of her friends, tales borrowed from the novels that still lay splayed and soaking on the table. Every morning after, Margaret heard the whispers begin. The invisible stalker haunting Whispering Pines subdivision became a legend among the mothers who still left out cookies for block parties, who tucked their children in with uneasy glances at every creak. Margaret played her part beautifully, shivering on walks, clutching her phone to her chest, warning others to bolt their doors. Weeks passed, and Margaret tried to absorb a peace she didn't deserve, but the stain remained beneath her fingernails as she watched, unable to sleep, a new shadow at the foot of her bed each night. It was not just guilt. Sometimes, when she peered into the midnight glass of her bathroom mirror, she caught the shape of a face she didn't recognize, smiling the cruelest smile, and she wondered, deep down, if the stalker she invented had somehow become real, studying her from the corners of her own home, waiting for the moment she closed her eyes.